Hi all, Kinsey Schofield here, and I am with Matt Wilkinson. You are the royal editor of The Sun, and you have been for a significant amount of time. I mean, you have...
5 years.
You have...
What a 5 years as well, Kinsey.
Okay, well, you just mentioned it. I poked at you because I was like, I have a really weird pitch for you. I want to talk about the similarities between Sarah Ferguson and Meghan Markle professionally. But you know what's wild? We're looking at Sarah Ferguson's life post-royals and Meghan Markle's life post-royals. Sarah Ferguson leaves the royals in the 90s. Meghan Markle has only been outside of the royal family for the last 5 years, and she's done everything we're about to talk about in the last 5 years. At least Fergie's like... There's been some time between some of these pursuits. Meghan's been probably kept you pretty busy over the last 5 years.
Well, yeah, she's been probably one of the biggest sources of stories that I've had, to be honest. Everything that she does, she just keeps on giving and giving and giving. You know, talking about her following in Sarah Ferguson's footsteps, I think she would be horrified if we were to make that comparison. I don't think she sees herself as Sarah Ferguson 2.0. I think she sees herself as completely different. But you're right, there are similarities in their post royal working life, but what about their actual working life? Sarah was there for quite a long time. And she was doing tours, you know, she was acting as a working royal. She was very close to Princess Diana. Meghan didn't last long as a working royal. She took one look at it and legged it. At least Sarah has a bit of longevity.
Oh, well, Sarah Ferguson just gave this video a like on YouTube. She really appreciated those props. Let's talk about their media reinvention and some of their reality TV pursuits. Again, to your point, Meghan Markle would hate for us to compare With Love Meghan or Harry and Meghan to reality television. She would probably correct us and say it was a docu-series, but the reality is reality television. Okay, so Sarah Ferguson appeared on several reality-style programs. It was called Finding Sarah for the Oprah Winfrey Network. I know that you're a fan. Just kidding. Sarah Ferguson's Duchess on a Budget series, which combines self-help and lifestyle storytelling. And then we mentioned several of Meghan Markle's projects. With Love Meghan, we've seen 2 seasons of it. Christmas special this year, and Netflix's bombshell but critically successful, analytically successful Harry and Meghan. When it comes to royals and reality TV, is that ever a good idea, or does it ruin the mystique that makes royalty so important in pop culture?
100%. What you were saying there in the second part of your statement, I think that they shouldn't be appearing on reality TV. I think that the pomp and ceremony is what makes them interesting. The exclusivity is what makes them interesting. The fact that you can look at them but you can't touch, that's what makes them so fascinating. And I don't buy this whole idea that if you make them more personable or more likeable or more like you and me, that it somehow works for them. I don't think it's worked for Meghan. I think the more people have learnt about Meghan or learnt about the way that she portrays herself in these TV shows, if that is her acting or if that is her authentic self, I think fewer people like her. I think there has, with Sarah, I think there was a growing level of affection over the amount of time since she stepped down as a working royal or since she divorced Prince Andrew, about how she has survived, how she has found ways forward. She's always got something. There's always a book. There's always a show. There's always a podcast. There's something that, you know, she's the eternal survivor, and people like that kind of comeback kid story, and that's what Sarah's done. You mentioned about one of the ones there, I think Sarah on a Budget. Did you ever watch it at the time? It was about 15 years ago.
I just saw YouTube
and
clips.
It was astonishing. She went to Hull, and I know you're in the UK at the moment. I can't imagine Hull is on your list of destinations or anybody's list of destinations.
No offense.
But it's this. Oh, I've been there many times. Don't worry, I've got family up in Hull, and it's not the greatest place in the world. And she spent time with this family who were on benefits, and she was trying to convince them or trying to help them live a better, more healthy life. And taking a step back, it was actually a fascinating attempt, you know, a fascinating way of having a woman who was given lots of privilege or had privilege all the way through her life, living in castles, living in palaces, to go and live in a council estate in a town like Hull. And I actually, with the period of reflection after, you know, the 15 years it appeared, I actually think that was quite a interesting and good attempt from Sarah. I'm going to stick up for her on that. The one with Oprah, I think that was just a money-making exercise for her to get a bit of exposure.
Well, that was my next question. How much of this is about a buck, and how much of this is about rebranding or trying to reinvent yourself for both of them, because I mean, I think that Sarah had a much more scandalous background when she left the royal family because of what led to her leaving the royal family. But it does seem like they've both been in the position where they had to reinvent themselves to the public.
Yes, they both had to reinvent themselves for money. I think with Sarah in
So you're saying
particular,
it's both, really?
I do. Well, look, it is weird that they don't just go and get jobs.
Yeah.
Isn't it really? It's like Sarah could just go and get a job, surely.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to do all these documentaries and books and stuff like that. She could actually just go and get an actual proper job. And the same with Meghan. I do wonder why they have to constantly be on TV, have to constantly be media personalities. But with Sarah, there is no doubt in my mind that a lot of the work that she did was for money. She didn't have any money. Andrew had to support her. She was standing by Andrew, which she continues to do as a loyal ex-wife, but she needed money. With Meghan, I think she wants money more than she needs money. I think she wants to be a billionaire. She wants to have the A-list life. I think while there are similarities in the projects that they did, I think Sarah was far more skint than Meghan was, and that's why she did a lot of her projects and everything she's done. The amount of books that she just keeps
over 30.
churning them out.
Yeah,
and I don't know if I've never met anyone who's read one.
Yeah,
but she just keeps on churning them
Somebody
out.
has.
On the top of bestseller lists.
You know what else she did that I actually really thought was cool was producing the movie about Queen Victoria that Emily Blunt is in,
Right.
and Beatrice actually makes a little cameo. That was. I'll give Fergie props for that
She's
project.
an absolute grafter. Honestly, she's almost undefeatable.
Yeah.
You cannot. She keeps on coming back every time. She has plenty of scandals.
Yes.
But I think genuinely people have a bit of affection for her.
Yeah, and if you fall in love with somebody initially, it is easier to forgive. And like you said, she put in so much work when it came to the British royal family that people are more likely or have forgiven her in the past because there is that investment in her royal life.
She's a bit of an institution. She's been around since, was it 1986 was the wedding? I remember watching it at school. We all sat down and watched it in the primary school in the main kind of assembly hall. We all got to sit there. She's a British institution, and we just watch her rise and fall, and then ultimately rise and fall again. And yeah, we'll see where her journey takes her. But as I say, Meghan would be horrified. She would much rather be compared to Princess Diana.
Of course, absolutely.
the
Well,
ex-Duchess
that's why I'm here, guys. High-profile Oprah connections. Each Duchess has used Oprah Winfrey's platform at, pivotal moments in their careers. So with Sarah, it was 2011's Finding Sarah, where they describe her as exploring her personal struggles and journey to self-improvement under Oprah's mentorship. How nice. And then with Meghan, it was that 2021 interview that stopped everyone in their tracks. Over 17 million people watched some pretty serious allegations that Harry and Meghan threw at the British royal family. Oprah just has this convenient in when it comes to members of the British royal family that need positive press.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about they're two entirely different shows.
Yes,
I would
yes.
suggest that Sarah's show was, it
Fluff.
it was fluff, wasn't
Yeah.
it? And it wasn't particularly terribly well received. Whereas, and I often wonder about the Oprah interview with Meghan, who used who.
Ooh,
Did Meghan use Oprah?
that was such a silenced moment right there from you.
Do you think?
Who used who?
Who used
Silence
who?
or silenced?
It's difficult to say, actually, who used who. But who used who? Who benefited the most? Meghan needed someone as big as Oprah, that she could, someone as credible as Oprah,
Yes.
that she could settle old scores, lob huge insults, and just show how incredibly angry and that she was of the royal family and how much she was a victim. But Oprah, did she really need Meghan? She's big enough herself. Did she use Meghan to get massive ratings? She kind of needed it, but I felt there was an element of both using each other.
Well, and we know that Oprah had this fixation on Princess Diana, and in a way, she scored that point by getting Prince Harry, because I'm sure she'd love to sit down with Prince William and Catherine. That will never happen now. My favorite Oprah Diana story is from Darren McGrady, who says that Oprah did come visit Princess Diana at Kensington Palace, and they had lunch. And Oprah was eating this lunch with Diana, and she goes, "I can't believe you eat like this. It's so rich and delicious. How do you stay so thin?" And Darren McGrady said that before lunch, Diana had specifically told him, "I want fat-free, but don't make hers fat-free." So she's sitting there consuming all of those calories going, how do you stay so thin? And meanwhile, Diana's been conspiring in the background, classic Diana. We've already talked about some of Sarah Ferguson's books, and you're right, Sarah Ferguson's resume kind of outshines Meghan's in this department, but children's literature. So Sarah Ferguson wrote A Most Intriguing Lady, 30 other titles. Meghan Markle published The Bench in 2021. This was inspired by her relationship with Prince Harry. How nice. Both women used children's literature to express nurturing, family-oriented themes that counter their often critical press coverage. Do you think that this was, Meghan, really just a tribute to her husband and child? Or again, is this another fast cash? Or again, is this another PR move? Because, around 2021, we are hearing for the first time in the States about bullying allegations. I know the bullying allegations were you heard about them far sooner than we did. But in 2021, we're starting to hear Valentine Lowe's stories.
Well, the Bench specifically, the book. I mean, it just smacked on desperation and lack of ideas. I mean, but it was quite dull, wasn't it? And it was. I think they went to America and said, well, what do we do? What projects can we set up to make a bit of money? And this was an easy one. Just write a little picture book, about the Bench. It was just an easy, uninteresting. As I say, smacks on desperation. They didn't have any better ideas. It was interesting that it was. Is that a really bad thing to say?
No, I think I just
am. You put in a face like I'm being outrageous. I mean, nobody likes the Bench, do they, Kinsey?
Here's the situation. I'm loving this conversation.
Okay.
You're giving me good stuff, and I just can't control myself.
Well, no, the Bench. I remember it came out, and I was at the Invictus Games in The Hague, and of course they had a yellow bench, of which Meghan and a bunch of other people went and sat on and had a picture. It was all just part of this of a post royal life. I just found it a little bit dull, and no one's got the Bench. No one reads it. No one actually owns it. But I remember during, I think it was the last series of, and I mixed these up. Is it As Ever or With Love?
It's With Love, Meghan is the
Meghan.
series. Yeah.
The brands are so difficult to distinguish.
Because nothing has synergy.
Nothing has synergy, but the book appeared. Do you remember when she bought a bunch of books for someone and said, I can't remember the guy.
It was Tan, Guy Tan.
It was Tan, and he said, I want some books for his children, and squeezed in there was a copy of The Bench, and that's the first time I've seen it since 2021.
That's adorable of her. Nice, Meghan. Nice subtle product placement. We applaud you.
Hey guys, who doesn't want energy, metabolic, immune, and skin support? Meet Peak, a luxury brand transforming wellness with the absolute best, rare, and precious plants, cutting-edge ingredients, and formulations rooted in traditional wisdom. Their science-backed botanicals, minerals, and supplements support sustained energy, metabolic function, immune health, and radiant skin, making it easy to live each day with vitality. One of their newest essentials, the Deep Hydration Protocol, is a two-part drinkable skincare system that keeps your body and skin hydrated while promoting better sleep, made without sugar, fillers, or artificial flavors, and crafted with natural ingredients for a clean, spa-like taste you can feel good about. Daily use supports hydration, glowing skin, improved sleep, and sustained energy. In the morning, I love BT Fountain. This is their beauty electrolyte. It helps hydrate from within, smooth skin, and gives me lasting energy. By the evening, though, I'm grabbing for the RE Fountain, the calming electrolyte. It contains a gentle form of magnesium that eases tension and helps me get deep, restful sleep without feeling groggy the next day. Wake up rested and stay hydrated all day. Get 20% off for life, a complimentary gift, and explore Peak's clean, pure ingredient products at peaklife.com/Kinsey. That's PIQUE life.com/Kinsey. This is hydration redefined. Try it and glow from the inside out. Now back to the show.
Both women have used the media to try to change public perception of them. When it comes to Sarah, she moved from tabloid scandal to motivational storytelling. And I actually thought Prince Harry was going to and should have gone in the motivational speaking space immediately after leaving the British royal family. I thought that's what Spare was going to be until I heard that it was titled Spare. And then I said, this is not the direction we're going in. Meghan has leaned into lifestyle and media production, trying to reshape her public image around wellness, empathy, and empowerment. Do you think that with Meghan specifically, she's moving the needle at all in the UK, or do you think that people see through it and her brand is difficult Duchess?
The things you just highlighted there, that Meghan, the areas, some of the words you used there just immediately kind of turned me off. Right?
Welcome to
No offense
California.
to but some of the phrases, this kind of wellness, etc., and stuff like that, all grand, but it's not exciting. I thought that when Meghan was in the UK, and I had a lot of time for Meghan when she was in the UK. Okay, I thought it was an incredible personality. I remember when James Holt on their Meghan documentary said this was about the right time. If you're writing a story about the royal family, this is about the right time to introduce someone like Meghan. And she gave the impression that she had all these incredible ideas, these strong principles, that she wanted to challenge the status quo, that there were things that she was silenced from saying. She hasn't. And so the things that you just outlined there, the projects that she's done, the bench, the cookery show and stuff like that, if we're led to believe that she was keeping people awake or emailing people at 5 a.m. in the morning with all these ideas and she wasn't allowed to speak
Jam!
out,
Now!
Yes, I'm a little disappointed that we haven't had this voice that has been standing up for justice across the world or tackling thorny issues. Maybe these thoughts in her head didn't exist when she was here in the UK, or maybe it was just one of her excuses as to why she wanted to leave. But you're not disappointed. She hasn't actually done what we thought, what she promised that she would be doing when she was in the royal family, the things that she said she was prevented from doing. She hasn't ventured into those areas.
Well, that's my issue with, I know that this isn't their job to step in and say anything about Prince Andrew, but Prince Harry said recently in an interview that he wasn't pursuing vengeance with Spare or the Harry and Meghan docuseries. He said he was just trying to hold the family accountable. He was trying to hold people accountable. Well, if you're going to try to hold people accountable, then shouldn't you put some distance between you and Prince Andrew? Meghan says she's a feminist. Well, Prince Andrew is accused. He says he's innocent, but he's accused of being involved in sex trafficking of young women. As a feminist, shouldn't you say we are outraged by these allegations? We're donating to this sex trafficking charity. We're going to speak out or do this or they don't even have to acknowledge Prince Andrew, but we would understand what they were doing if they did go in that direction in some way, shape, or form. And the fact that they really only speak up if it's something that directs them, directly affects them specifically, whether it's online bullying or whatever. I just think it makes their causes look less effective. Or less authentic.
It does, and they've got a global voice, the pair of them, and particularly Meghan, as she marked herself as somebody who was hugely outspoken and she was constrained within the royal family, and I'm a little disappointed that it's just jam.
That is very true. Podcast pursuits. I forgot that Sarah Ferguson had a podcast. Did you even know Sarah Ferguson?
Was this the one during lockdown? The story time?
Yes. Tea Talks with the Duchess and Sarah, her friend, her bestie. And they did, I couldn't believe it, 13 episodes. And there was a lot of negative feedback because people thought that Sarah Ferguson could have delivered more. But if we want to talk about negative feedback, we could just roll right into Meghan Markle's launch of her high-profile podcast, Archetypes, which I forget about constantly.
I quite like the Archetypes.
I'm
in a person of one, but I listened to it and I thought, this is what I'm talking about, and my disappointment in the fact that she hasn't actually. She was actually trying to push. God. No, you not think she was actually trying to talk about things that I found relatively interesting. I thought there would have been a market for it. The new one,
Confessions of a Female Founder.
It's so dull. But Archetypes.
So when she's complaining about how Austin Powers is racist. Austin Powers from 20 years ago. You're not like, girl, you were a day late and $1 short.
Possibly, but at least she was tackling the big issues. I keep saying the same thing. Maybe I'm labouring a point here.
No, I like your opinion.
I like I like outspoken Meghan if she's tackling, injustices or prejudices that she sees in the wider world, because that's the person that I was sold was marrying into the royal family.
True.
Because she was complaining about she's being silenced.
Yes.
But no, I actually quite like that type. She has some good guests on it, but the Confessions of a
Are you
Female
a Paris
Founder-
Hilton fan?
I am. I like Paris Hilton. Yeah, I like the guest she had on there. She had Mariah Carey and all
she
sorts
did.
of people. I thought there's some good people on there. I
Yeah.
thought that was a high.
Can I just remind you, though, that when they signed the Spotify contract, they said that they were going to elevate normal people and causes that were important to them. So then when we got Tyler Perry, Elton John, Mariah Carey, and Paris Hilton, and I was like, classic Harry and Meghan, promise one thing, deliver another. So do you think either woman has a future in podcasting, or do you think that they've both closed the book on that?
Oh, wow. I don't know what Sarah's future is.
Right.
That's going to be really, really tricky.
I would podcast with Sarah Ferguson.
Again, maybe I'm just in a bad mood today.
I love it. I love it.
I think it would be far better if they got into controversial stuff. They're not successful with this kind of inane lifestyle.
But Sarah's
podcast.
more in a position to do that now because she no longer is using the title. Because whether or not they are in direct contact with the British royal family regularly, if you are using that title and monetizing that title, it still reflects positively or negatively on the royal family. So Sarah's really the only one in the position to do the kind of edgier content that inspires you.
So she gets kicked out of Royal Lodge,
Yeah.
okay, which ultimately will have to happen at
Yes.
some stage. She doesn't get Adelaide Cottage, or she doesn't live with Andy at Frogmore Cottage. She has to go and buy herself somewhere. She's free to do whatever she wants.
Yes, you're right.
And that's delicious, isn't it?
This is
That's
delicious.
so exciting, isn't it, really? That's Yorkshire. That's better than Megxit having
Yorkshire?
an unrestrained Sarah Ferguson to tackle whatever she wants, if she's capable of doing it.
It is kind of exciting. I do have to agree with you. All right, so from royal outsiders to entrepreneurs, and I'm using that word loosely. Ultimately, both women have leveraged their royal associations to build commercial identities. Each has turned personal controversy into opportunity, using television, books, and interviews to craft a distinct post-royal brand. What could come next in the entertainment space? Substack? Do we see a Sarah Ferguson and Meghan Markle Substack?
I think they should join forces. What do you reckon about that? What
Well,
if they
you just told me she's going to hate this video.
Meghan will not like to be compared to the Duchess of York. I think they're, I say she wants to be compared to Diana, which we both agree on. But yeah, I mean, maybe that's the answer. Maybe if you have both of them moaning or talking or revealing things or expressing their opinions about the royal family.
That is a moneymaker.
That could be the end of the monarchy.
Netflix is like, we're done. This is all the content we need for the rest of our lives. All right, so just to wrap, where did Fergie go wrong? Because we've been pretty complimentary, and you're absolutely right. She is a survivor, and that is something that the audience has admired about her over the years. But is it chasing cash over substance? Where do you think Fergie went wrong, and how could Meghan learn from Fergie?
Maybe marrying Andrew was wrong, where it all started.
Was
there.
it? I mean,
No,
it took her
I
to
think-
another
I think
level.
Sarah spends money. She needs money. And I think maybe chasing the money. I mean, we know that with Epstein.
Yeah.
Epstein.
We should
gave
introduce her
money.
to consignment. This is used. I just trade in new clothes for other people's old clothes.
But I have this thing with, I don't like massively criticising women who marry into the royal family. I think they get really a bad thing. You go through all of the women that have married into the royal family. There's always a load of abuse had to go at them, and I think sometimes they should just allowed to be princesses or duchesses, because they assume that you're marrying into the royal family, you're getting everything, and I think that's what Sarah feels now. I think after her divorce, I think she got about £800,000, which, hey, give me £800,000.
But compared to Diana, that
got
was
like 17
highway
million.
robbery.
She got
Yeah.
like 17 million. So I think there is a thing with Sarah now where she feels that she was a bit hard done by, and maybe deserves a house or deserves a little bit of money if she was to to get chucked at a Royal Lodge. But I think her Achilles heel has always been the craving for money, the need for money.
But you've also said to me, Meghan wants to be a billionaire.
Yeah, Meghan wants money.
Yeah.
Why would you go into acting? Why would you go into acting and marry a prince, okay, if you don't want to be a multi-millionaire, a triple A star? Celebrity.
What about the lesson, you are who you associate with? Because I see the downfall of Fergie are, you know, some of these emails. I can't remember, Supreme Friend, I think was the line in the Jeffrey Epstein email. Lily's godfather is Tyler Perry, who's recently been accused of sexual assault and misbehaving in the entertainment industry. You know, if Harry and Meghan aren't careful about who they associate with in Hollywood, there could be problems down the line.
You are preaching to the converted on this. I've been saying this for a long time. Like Andrew was, you know, needed money or needed a purpose in life, and he kind of attracted these people like Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, I can't see that Jeffrey Epstein character being linked or being friends with or wanting to be accepted by Harry and Meghan. However, they are going to attract undesirables without a strategy, without people keeping an eye on them or watching who they're hanging around with.
The council.
I am worried that somebody of that ilk, you know, not Tyler Perry, I mean, that's a little bit more complicated, but somebody with a business, okay, or somebody with a criminal past or something like will attach themselves to Harry and Meghan. I'm 100% not convinced, but I'm concerned.
We're watching for it.
Yeah. I think they need to be aware of that as well.
Like, remember when Harry accepted the aviation award and took a picture with a fake prince that was there, and you're like, oh, Harry, you've got to be careful who you take. You know, again, that just is the optics aren't great. And can Harry and Meghan succeed without the royal family? And then my follow-up question would be, can Andrew and Fergie?
Right, can Harry and Meghan do? Yes, I absolutely think they can. And I often give a lot of credit for the fact, although he did it in his late 30s, he took his family and he moved to America and he earned some money. Whether it was earning money by talking about the royal family and slagging off the royal family, that's for other people to decide. But he did actually do that. Most people do that in their late teens or their 20s. All right, you fly the nest and you set up your own family, but you've got to give him a bit of respect for doing that. Andrew, possibly not, unless he has a rich friend in the Middle East that could put him and Fergie up and pay all their bills, then maybe. But I think he would really struggle. I think he's struggling without his mother. So, you know, once William comes in, then that's going to be the end for Andrew. Yeah.
What a thrill. All right, I love that you were apparently in a bad mood today because you were on fire. Agree with us, disagree with us, let us know in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. And also make sure you subscribe to Royal Exclusive. It's a brand new channel,
yes,
right?
Please. Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
Go over there and subscribe, and you can see Matt with all of his good and bad days, but he was particularly on fire today. So make sure you like this video and let us know how you felt about it in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again next time.